What if I told you that every moment of peace you enjoy was bought with the silence of a fallen hero? That behind your barbecue, beach day, or 3-day weekend lies a battlefield where promises were shattered and rebuilt in the fire of sacrifice. Memorial Day isn't just another holiday. It's a reminder that freedom isn't free. It comes at a cost paid by those who wore the uniform and never returned. But in remembering their stories, we heal. In honoring their names, we preserve hope. And in carrying their legacy, we keep the promise alive. It began with silence broken only by weeping and the soft rustle of flowers laid on fresh graves. After the Civil War, a war that claimed over 600,000 American lives, communities across the country sought ways to mourn. Women gathered in cemeteries to decorate the graves of soldiers, both Union and Confederate. It wasn't about politics, it was about pain. These were husbands, sons, and fathers who never came home. In 1868, General John A. Logan proclaimed May 30th as a day to honor the fallen, calling it Decoration Day. Across a fractured nation, Americans united in grief. The flowers were simple, but the message was profound. We remember this small act of tribute planted the seed for what would grow into Memorial Day, a National Day of Mourning. Over time, as more wars followed and more lives were lost, the tradition evolved, but its heart remained the same. It began in sorrow, but it endures in remembrance. Memorial Day was born not out of celebration, but out of love. As America marched through time, so did its wars and its wounds. After the Civil War came the Spanish-American War. Then the brutal trenches of World War I, followed by the global devastation of World War II. Each conflict brought more fallen heroes, more grieving families, more graves to honor. Decoration Day expanded its meaning. No longer was it only for Civil War, it became a day to remember all soldiers who had given their lives for the nation. In 1971, Congress officially declared it a national holiday, renaming it Memorial Day and fixing its observance on the last Monday of May. This shift turned it into a long weekend for many, but its heart remained solemn. The transition from a regional day of remembrance to a federal holiday wasn't just legislative, it was emotional. It reflected a nation grappling with its past and learning how to carry memory forward. Through changing times and generations, one thing held true: the fallen would not be forgotten. There's a reason it feels wrong to say Happy Memorial Day. This isn't a celebration, it's a commemoration. While other holidays bring joy and festivity, Memorial Day carries weight. It's a day marked by silence, reflection, and sorrow. For families who've lost loved ones in war, the phrase feels like salt in a wound. Imagine telling a mother who buried her son or a child who never met their father to be happy today. The pain of their absence is lifelong, and this day brings it sharply into focus. Memorial Day is not about personal gain or parties. It's about the ultimate price paid by men and women who will never see another sunrise. Their sacrifice gave us our freedoms, and the least we can offer in return is respect. Instead of happy, say thank you. Instead of forgetting, remember. Honor with your words, your silence, your presence. Because grief doesn't end, and neither should gratitude. Every year, at exactly 3 p.m. local time on Memorial Day, Americans are asked to pause just for 1 minute, 60 seconds of silence. No matter where you are or what you're doing, this moment is sacred. It's called the National Moment of Remembrance. Established by Congress in 2000, the idea is simple but powerful: to unify the country in a collective breath of respect for the fallen. 1 minute where the rush of life pauses to honor those who lost theirs. In that silence echoes the sound of sacrifices, voices of young men and women who once laughed, dreamed, and served. Whether you're at a parade, a picnic, or just sitting alone at home, that moment bridges the gap between freedom and the price it cost. It's not about politics, it's not about parties, it's about memory, about gratitude, about unity. So this Memorial Day, when 3 p.m. arrives, stop, reflect, and help keep their memory alive, if only for a minute. Some tributes speak without words. On Memorial Day, symbols carry the weight of a nation's grief and gratitude. The American flag, folded with precision into a triangle and handed to a mourning family, becomes more than cloth, it becomes sacred. Planted in rows across graves in Arlington and small-town cemeteries alike, these flags flutter like silent salutes. Then there are red poppies, inspired by the poem in Flanders Fields, where they grew among soldiers' graves during World War I today. People wear them over their hearts, a crimson reminder of bloodshed and bravery. And finally, the haunting sound of Tapsa 24-note bugle call played at military funerals and ceremonies. In those few seconds, time seems to freeze. It's a sound that brings tears without needing explanation. Together, these symbols don't just mark a day, they preserve a legacy. They remind us that behind every ritual is a real life, a real sacrifice, and they challenge us, never forget. Behind every name etched in stone is a story, a heartbeat, a dream, a life that mattered. Memorial Day is not about numbers. It's about faces, the 19-year-old who wrote letters home about coming back to build a life, the medic who ran toward danger to save others, the pilot who never saw the sky again. These stories often go untold, hidden beneath uniforms and statistics. But they deserve more. They deserve to be spoken, shared, remembered. Each soldier had a family, a laugh, a favorite song. They were more than soldiers. They were sons, daughters, best friends, lovers. Some never made it home. Others came back in silence, their battlefields buried deep within. On Memorial Day, telling their stories is an act of justice. We give voice to the silent. We say their names. And by remembering, we keep them alive, not just in stone, but in spirit. Because no hero should fade into history without being known. For every fallen soldier, there's a family whose world shattered with a knock on the door. Wives and husbands clinging to folded flags, children growing up with photos instead of memories. Parents aching for the child they raised, but never got to see grow old. These are the Gold Star families, those who live with the pain of ultimate sacrifice every single day. Memorial Day isn't just hard, it's heavy for them. While the country remembers once a year, their loss is felt 365 days a year. They carry the weight, so we don't have to. They are the silent heroes who continue to honor the fallen through grief, resilience, and love. On this day, we don't just honor the dead, we stand with the living who loved them most. A kind word, a simple thank you, or the act of remembering their loved one's name can mean the world. Because behind every grave is a story, and behind every story is a family still holding on. Memorial Day often arrives with sales, barbecues, beach trips, and a 3-day weekend mindset. For many, it marks the unofficial start of summer. But for others, it's a date circled in sorrow. This contrast creates a painful paradox. While enjoying freedom is part of what our heroes fought for, forgetting why we have that freedom is a disservice to their sacrifice. Memorial Day isn't veterans. Diet's not meant to thank the living, but to honor the dead. It's not just another holiday. It's a national moment of mourning. There's nothing wrong with gathering with loved ones or enjoying the sunshine, but take a moment first. Remember someone's son, daughter, or parent who won't ever join a summer cookout again. Gratitude and joy can coexist, but not at the cost of remembrance. This weekend isn't only about celebration, it's a chance to reconnect with what freedom truly means and who paid the price for it. Memorial Day isn't just about taking the day off. It's about showing up for those who never came home. And honoring them doesn't require grand gestures. You can visit a veteran cemetery, place a flag or flower on a grave, or simply stand in silence at 3:00 p.m. during the National Moment of Remembrance. You can listen to a veteran's story, share a fallen hero's name on social media, or donate to organizations that support Gold Star families. Even teaching a child what the day truly means can pass the torch of remembrance to a new generation. The goal is not perfection, it's presence. Every respectful act, no matter how small, becomes a thread in the fabric of national memory. Memorial Day calls us not just to feel, but to act. Don't let it pass like any other Monday. Let it move you. Because to honor the fallen is to ensure they did not die in vain. And that starts with you. Every generation inherits a legacy built on the courage and sacrifice of those who came before. Memorial Day is not just about the past, it's a call to action for the present. We are the living legacy of the fallen. How we live, what we choose to value, and how we treat our freedoms all reflect the cost they paid. Freedom is not permanent. It must be protected, respected, and remembered. The men and women who never came home gave us the chance to build a better world. What we do with that chance is our way of honoring them. Their fight ended, but ours continues. to uphold the ideals they died defending. So raise your flag with purpose, tell their stories with pride, and live with intention. Because the greatest way to honor the dead is to live a life worthy of their sacrifice. Memorial Day ends, but the legacy lives on. It lives through us.